Tonight we're going to be playing Pillars of Eternity in preparation of Pillars of Eternity 2 coming out later this week, which I'll be doing a full playthrough of that. I don't know if I'll be finishing this playthrough, but it will not be my first. I figure a nice little video though to refresh acquaintance with the world and some of the lingo they use before I start the new stream, because it's a little confusing when it first starts. Go ahead and get started. So this game was made by Obsidian Entertainment, who's made other such game like Baldur's Gate 2, I believe, Knights of the Old Republic 2, which was rushed out of development and had a lot of bugs and wasn't as well received as the first one. However, it was still actually my favorite of the two. Now this game is heavily story-based, so I'll be reading most of the text that goes along with this, but try and enjoy the tales as they go as well, because it's a very good story. Ominous. So, character creation, as you know, in any game can take a long time. I'm going to kind of blow through this quickly with my standard warrior-like characters, but I will kind of give a brief overview. So, of course, you can't call everyone humans or people in this kind of world of multi-species. So, they use the term kith to refer to any intelligent species that is recognized. As you can see, humans are called folk. There's all sorts of lore associated with this. I mean, I'm really going to go into the lore in Pillars of Eternity too, but for right now, I believe this is, we'll get more into the story and see how it really unfolds as we play through. Anyways, let's go ahead and just be a dwarf right now. I mean, yeah, dwarf. Of course, once you choose your species, there's different kinds of dwarves. I've always preferred the mountain. Now, fighter is going to be our general warrior type. Paladin, also very warrior-ish, but it's going to have, you know, the priestly abilities along with it, being a fighter priest mix. And then the barbarian, which is also similar to the fighter, although it wears lighter armor and, you know, typical all-out melee craziness. What we're going to do with today, though, is we're actually just going to go fighter. Go with knockdown. Cool. My friend, since Deadfire Archipelago is going to be out this week, we're going to be from there. I'm going to prefer to be an explorer. You find the siren call of the horizon irresistible. You cannot help but wonder what lies beyond the next hill or wave, and you've built your life around finding out. I like to believe I can find an echo of myself in there, so why not? Nice. uh, Blasting through this, eh? Primary color is going to be, I know, don't murder me for this, but it's going to be green. Nice light green. Secondary color will be, I don't want to go Christmas and go red. Let's go, ooh. It's too clowny, isn't it? Can't go green and purple. We'll go green and black. It's a fresh color. Definitely not going to go red. Ooh, that white is stark. How about we stick with a nice brown? It's tame. Lighten up his skin to represent my pale ass. A good beard fits a dwarf, does it not? I say it partially makes the dwarf, if you will. Oh no. Yes, we'll go with that guy. As far as hair goes, that wasn't bad hair, so number 12 I like. Wow. This looks like a dwarf you could hang out with. It's going to be a nice little upstart. We got a little more of a bold looking dwarf. Ooh, wrong way. My dwarf choice is limited. I'm going to go with him because I imagine if you aged him, maybe I could change his hair color. There we go. More representative. I'm a stickler for these kind of things. Yeah, he's going to be a little cocky little son of a bitch. And his name will be Bulkarion. Nice little fire in the evening. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis. He nods toward a looming black mass on the hillside. At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks over you. Sparkle nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. Is it dangerous out here? There is concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. Where would I find these berries again? What are these runes? What are these huge rocks coming out of the ground? Well, I better go get those berries. He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow. The woman looks up on her own time. Alright, alright. You know, I don't need any supplies from you, my friend. That is okay. I do believe I need to fix this upset tummy of mine. Perhaps with some berries. Alright, we're checked by those outcroppings. There's a wolf. Let's smack it. Well, that was a nice, easy find. Odima says you had some interesting travels. In the watery parts of the world, I'm somewhat of a mariner. Yeah? How is it you happened to come here? Well, I was attacked by pirates at sea. Our ship was destroyed. That's a damnable run of luck. Maybe the new setting will turn things around for you. Kaliska breathes in her surrounding. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Roderick's offer makes a girl think. I'll give him that. You here to settle, like the rest of the lot? Nah, I'm just passing through. That's usually the case with the big city, just a little ways further up the same road. Where you heading? Nowhere special. Just putting as much time and distance between me and my old life as I possibly can. Seeing as how we're halfway between nowhere and nothing, I'd say you picked the right spot. Anyway, I'm wasting my time here. Odima will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. Alright, let's get out of here. Get back to camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfle's getting you water anytime soon. He does what he feels like when he feels like it. We should check up on him first. Slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get you your water. Well, that's awfully kind of you, Kaliska. I do believe I need to adjust one setting here. Burned lady. It's awfully fancy. I believe it'll be an herb for crafting. I do hear the river close. Can we not just scoop into the water? Allow me to take some with me. I'll cup it by hand, don't worry. I don't think it's terribly a big deal. What a kind man. You crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into the cool water while Kaliska waits nearby, keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look up sharply towards the tree line. You've gained an item, quest, full water skin. Out of the trees emerges Sparfle, one of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there is a strangeness to his gait, his stride wobbly as he moves toward you with labored breath. Sparfle's toe catches on a rock, and he collapses forward in a heap, the feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag. Bandits. Let's double team this guy and then handle the other one. Hurry. Handled. Poor Sparfle. He never stood a chance. Alright. You get down. I'm gonna smash him with that torch. Damn, Bulkarion. Smash him again. Let's take out this hunter. Oh! I just exploded him. Alright, let's take it all. We don't need to play. All around you lie the massacred remains of the other travelers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy. Kaliska puts the back of her left hand to her mouth as if to try to ward off some vaporous poison. A handful of dark figures stands above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. One of them, towering and severe with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of a man you recognize as Hyoden, the last of your caravan left standing. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. The rune has not been sullied by our hands, men of Ir Glenfath. Your words carry no weight when I have seen the truth with my own eyes. Blood must be paid for this intrusion. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them. They mean to kill us all. Only a fool attacks a weak enemy, while a stronger one yet lives. Yet. He shoves Hyoden towards you. As he does so, the man rakes his blade across Hyoden's torso. Hyoden screams and stumbles forward, a wide gash in his clothing beginning to bloom crimson. The man sets his feet to engage you, his axe raised high. Alright. We are going to smash this dude in the face. And then, Ladybird, you are going to smash this dude in the face. And then you are going to perform a blinding strike against the Glanfathan leader. And with swiftness, the battle has come to a conclusion. Your enemy lies supine on the ground, unable to rise. His companions now silent among the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, fitful gasp. He looks not at you, but at the sky above you. Forgive us. Barely audible beneath his choked sighs, a whisper of wind stirs the air. At this, the man's eyes roll back as he closes them. Good. Good. The gods are just. A queer smile crosses his face. I am ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin, and where it pierces you, it feels as though it is rending you apart from within. Seated against a wagon wheel amidst the howling maelstrom, slashed across chest and bow, Odima's body stirs, and with great effort he raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open. He looks directly at you. Straining against a gale that threatens to pull you off of your feet with every step, you set your hands in the worn folds of weathered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy before your arms give out, you swing yourself up onto the ledge. Hyoden trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rocks, one of the fallen attackers, who had been feigning death, lunges for Hyoden and topples him onto the rocky ground. Restrained, Hyoden lashes out against his fatigued assailant, but struggles to break his hold. They are close to you, despite the wind, from your position. If you were to throw your weapon at the attacker, you would have a good chance at hitting your mark. Your aim is true, and the hit jars Hyoden loose. Lurching to his feet, Hyoden clambers up the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways, tearing one of his hands free. But diving out onto the hard rock, you manage to catch hold of it. Securing his other hand, you pull with waning strength, and it feels as though your arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Hyoden to seat his feet into and join you on the trembling ledge. There's a deep resonance to the swelling wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances as you dart. Beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight. Oh, and the adventure continues. A lower level of the ruins has been blocked off by fallen rubble. This place is, dirty. I don't approve of its cleanness. What the hell happened out there? Windstorm. Of a kind they only get in Air Glenfath. Not too many people live through them, so it's hard to know what's true. The Glenfathan word is Beowick. To them, it's the gods' way of reaping the souls of the land that couldn't find their way out. They'll take a living soul as soon as a dead one. Still got yours? You don't even seem too upset about this. Kaliska looks you in the eye, a volatile current running beneath her voice. Maybe you just don't know me enough to know what upset looks like. And maybe I've seen worse, too. Seen worse and kept on walking, because there's nothing else to be done. And because there's other people you care about who still need you. What about everyone else in our caravan? Kaliska's lips press together and her chin rumples. Her voice is faint. The wheels got a hold of them now. She looks up. Gods grant them better luck in their next life. We should be going. Hyoden takes a step forward and his knee buckles. Before anyone can catch him, he stumbles to the ground, his cheeks striking the time-worn cobbles. On unsteady legs, he claws his way up the wall and back to his feet, but his stance is shaky like a sailor walking on land after a time at sea. Whoa, Kaliska. We gotta take the risk and let him rest. We need all three of us at full strength. Alright, don't be a little lady about it. Camping supplies? I'd say that's useful. And a torch. I'd say that's it. Take a quick rest to repair those bruised ribs of Hyoden's. Well, let's try and catch her then, right? Man, that chick really did take off. Kaliska, that was brutal. And nor do I find it appropriate, to be frank with you. Let's head in here. See what's in here. Oh, hello. A trembling, sickly creature emerges from the darkness, clutching a spear. Knobby elbows and the ribs showing through its scaly flesh, but you recognize it as a Zarep. It watches you cautiously, breathing its ragged sighs. Raise your arms and stand still. The creature cocks its head and approaches you, a soft clicking sound emanating from the back of its throat. The creature sniffs around you and finds nothing of interest. It steps back and resumes its defensive posture. It's okay, I won't hurt you. The Zarep recoils, fingers still wrapped tightly around its spear. The creature cocks its head and approaches you, a soft clicking sound emanating from the back of its throat. Well, you're about to die, Zara. I'm sorry it had to go down this way. I assure you I didn't want it. But you left me no option. These are the things I have to deal with from you. What do we have here? A crossbow. Leaf gem. Sculpted to look like an eye, you say? Well, Skuldar Whelp, I believe you deserve a good smacking from my shield. I just eat it, man. Oh, and he explodes. Let's check this. An axe. Maybe we can resell it later, right, boys? Haha! A crack runs along this wall from floor to ceiling. A light gust of air passes through it. Despite the damage, the stone looks heavy and solid. You push with all your might, and the crack begins to spread. Finally, you feel the ancient masonry give way. The wall crashes down, revealing a circular room ahead. Ah, that extra might did come in handy. We did some structural damage. Let's see what's beyond it, boys. Nah, not necessary, but... Oh, Hyoden. You would have gotten me in just as much trouble. Let's, give this guy a good smackaroo, too. Oh, he got the smack. Let's you get the smack. Oh, and you got the smack. Alright, that was a little bit messy, but I got to smack him. Bulgarian enjoys smashing. Well, if the Biowick is gone, that would be nothing but bonuses for us, I would say. Oh, my dearness. A spider. It doesn't appear to be a poisonous spider, so it's just a rather large spider. A terrifying prospect, nonetheless. Let's whoop out. Oh, shit! A big spider. Alright. First of all, let's do this. Second of all, look. It's a big old fucking spider. Whoa, what happened to your sword there, buddy? And so on and so forth. Alright, let's, I want a little ghost piggy. This item grants the ability to shield the wearer from the myriad perils that plague the world of Eora. An aspect of the god Eothas, Gon represents the harvest of old age, symbolized here by the many interlocking sickles that form the ring. As Gon helps protect the dignity of old age, so too do his followers pledge to prevent young lives from being harvested before their time. Well, I would say I'm young, and my life is of concern. I do believe that Hatchet does 11 to 15 slashing, or 13. 18 to 19 Crush. I do believe I will be going with the Crush today. Is that a one-handed? Yes, it is. Alright. And that bitch stole my sword. That's why. What is this? 4 figures stand before an otherworldly apparatus, an ancient structure of chiseled adra and metallic veins, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body, colorless as stone or ash. The other figures gaze upon it in what might be contemplation. From your vantage point, you are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out among them. A thick gray beard frames a face otherwise hidden beneath a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a runic language unlike anything you have ever seen, and he wears a strange black headdress with 2 protrusions that jut out like wings of some malevolent creature. For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet and the air is still. Then, all at once, it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods your vision and you are knocked to the ground. Your head snaps back as you land and pain wells into the back of your skull, washing your last thoughts away into the black, unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place, another time. You stand in a circular room, grand and domed, its walls lined with adra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweathered. At the far end, a great pillar of adra pierces the floor from below. Its shimmering texture gives the illusion of boundless depth. Encircling the pillar is an apparatus much like the one you have just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they seem to exist before you think them, and they are all questions. Pressing questions, troubling questions. Questions that must be answered, or... At the base of the pillar now, you see a man with a thick gray beard and ceremonial robe, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You are walking towards him now at a pace that is hurried while trying not to appear so. You have something you want to ask him. One question above all, and the question spins madly in your mind. You awaken to find your malaise has broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible at the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Movement flits through your periphery, but when you turn to look, you see no sign of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly darting this way and that, an involuntary paranoid tic. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures at the machine stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. You find Heod a short distance away in a shallow lake of his own blood. His body does not stir. You are alone and far from help. Gilded Veil may be your best hope of receiving treatment before things get worse. Sorry, Hyoden. It was a good run. It appears I can oh my goodness. An apparition. Let us level up. We are going to increase our athletics. A new talent. We're trains the character in the use of the greatsword, pike, warhammer, arbalest, and arquebus, gaining accuracy with all weapons of those type. I'm going to do warhammers this time. I know you are, buddy. Bulgarian is ready to go. What do we have here? Jesus, burned at the stake. This massive structure is formed of stone, adra, and copper, and covered in strange glyphs. The air around it vibrates with an unusual energy. Off to Valewood. I bet you do, my friend! Oh, you're a little tired, aren't you? Let's go ahead and give him a nice rest. Believe that's fair for the man. This body wasn't there. Does my man kill people in his sleep? Whoa, what is that? Shattered pieces of a crate are strewn across the dirt, along with a few muddy vegetables. The grass is still flattened behind the wagon's wheels. Barrels of cabbage, potatoes, and squash have been overturned and abandoned. Let's handle this wolf. Oh, I'm sorry, my wolf-like friend in the wilderness. But, you were a potential threat to my well-being. No, we need to go south. Let's follow the road. We'll deal with Nanton later. Alright guys, I'll be back in 8 hours while I travel here. Because, you know, these time things make a big difference. Later on in the game, these do make a big difference, though. It is worth mentioning. He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. Do you welcome everyone this way? What are you talking about? He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly toward the deformed tree. You said something about Hollowborn and Widewind's legacy before. I forgot that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Direwood for almost 15 years now. Children born without souls. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows, but they began spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Widewind's legacy struck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. I see. Lord Raedric's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interest at heart. He nods. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understands our rules. You'll want to mind where you mention that. Trespassing on Ingwithin ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Barath have mercy. We certainly have. I don't think so. Just as they finished, there was a Biowick. If you'd been that close to a Biowick, you would not be standing here. I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with the Biowick. Is there someone in town who could help me? Well, goodbye then. What do you mean? You come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy has struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Barath must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on you. Do not threaten me, little man. He shakes his head unmoved. It is no threat, only a warning. Lord Roderick will tolerate no threats to his kin or those who lived upon his land. Grief will not make him more docile. Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest. The inn or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. Well, farewell. Let's find this inn, shall we? Walking a little wide-footed there, buddy. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the end. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hand for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf. One of the other men glares at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. You've got a lot of gall, mocking us in our own village. We don't take ill treatment from foreigners, especially not Adrian's. I don't think attacking him is such a good idea. And why is that? Because you'll have to deal with me. They look at each other. One of the men gives the other 2 a warning, shakes his head before turning to you. We're done for now. But this one better watch his step around here because we're not going anywhere. With a final scowl at the elf, he turns to leave. As the 3 stumble away, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face. Why, you're welcome. He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath is sturdy and fine. How did you manage to get stuck here, you elf? He laughs uncomfortably. That is something of a long story. Well, I was traveling with a caravan, and we were separated near some ruins. Several hooded figures operating a strange machine. I was telling you, it was banana nuts. Aloth giggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward laugh. How'd you manage to cross those 3 drunks? I see. For which I am grateful. Let's discuss something else, shall we? Look, I really should be going. He, so do I. Let's go then. Ah, Aloth, my first companion. Let us go in this inn. Let us talk to the barkeep. Oh, greetings and welcome to the Blackhound Inn. The innkeeper bows her head curtly. Please sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have two available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by the way of good meal today. She sighs. Unless you're fond of cold porridge. I believe I'd like a room, please. Of course, we keep them nice and tidy. I believe the common room will do for tonight. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face has shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side, and as you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly, her head snaps up and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind them is vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with new and queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm that she is truly dead. And with that, our adventure will conclude for the day. Tomorrow I'll be back with another hour to joy of Pillars of Eternity. It is, again, a game of many adventures. This was just the opening one. This hasn't even included any of the side ones. We'll be getting into those soon. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll start again tomorrow.